see, Peter, I told you, the best way to see the rainforest is from the treetops. Beautiful. I like it so much.
I'm glad to hear that.
You don't survive, but can I have it?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Adiós, amigo. Un gusto conocerte. Bye-bye.
The royal tour was off again, this time following the coast south to the region of Michoacan. Our destination, the wooded beauty of the forest.
I'm liking this. You can't beat the scenery. It's amazing.
Where we were headed, the president promised, was going to be unlike anything I'd ever seen. We hitched up the horses and continued on foot.
We are going into the deeper part of this wood.
We were headed to the Mariposa Biosphere Reserve.
Oh, those are the butterflies.
High up in the treetops, monarch butterflies literally filled the sky.
That's all butterflies?
Yes.
I see them all up there.
Yes, 1,000 of them.
There are so many butterflies that if you listen carefully, you can hear their wings beating.
Wow. They're everywhere. Now there are more of them. Look how many more.
Yes.
What is even more amazing is the story behind how these butterflies get to this forest.
The butterflies travel 2,800 miles from Canada and part of the United States to this place.
The monarch is the only butterfly that migrates south for the winter, like a bird.
They're snowbirds. They're
These
snowbirds.
snowbirds, more or less, yes.
Yeah.
Some scientists say the butterfly could fly more than 50 miles a day, even more than 100 miles.
Yet what's truly amazing is that with a lifespan of only a few weeks to a few months, it's only every fourth generation of butterfly that instinctively knows when and where to make that long trip south.
The generation living in winter, they realize that they need to do all this way south towards Mexico. So they always arrive this very same place.
So they were the original tourists.
Yes, 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 yes.
How they pass the survival information on across generations remains a mystery.
It's magical how they get here. It's magical what they do here, and it's still unexplained how they come back here every single year. Mr. President,
Yeah?
you have 2 new friends.
Oh, yes? I can
Yes.
see that.
Wow.
We took off to a spectacular sunset. As we came in for a landing, the president told me he was taking me on a tour of one of his favorite cities, Morelia. We arrived a bit late for sightseeing, so he offered to take me somewhere else instead. A place so exclusive, so private, so inside, a place that few outside his inner circle ever get to see. His mom's house.
Hola.
The president was born here in Morelia into a Catholic working-class family, the youngest of 5 children.
Nice to meet you. Con mucho gusto.
Luis. Bienvenido. My mom.
Ah, con mucho gusto. Encantado.
Bien, gracias a Dios.
I'm actually Peter Greenberg here. I'm doing actually, I'm visiting Mexico with an amazing.
En Spanish, por favor.
I have a great translator.
Esta es mi casa y la tuya.
Ah, thank you so much.
Muchas gracias.
Yes.
Es hermana Luisa María.
But the president isn't the only Calderon success story. With an anthropologist, doctor, accountant, and engineer in the family as well, it's clear where the family fortune went: to education.
Was he a good student?
¿Tú era buen estudiante o no?
Did you ever think he would end up running the country?
No.
She said that I used to say since child that I'm going to be president. I can't remember either.
I don't remember.
So you can see, this is Mari Carmen.
Uh-huh.
This is John.
Let me guess. Who's that?
That is me.
Young Felipe became laser-focused on politics from a very early age. He followed in the footsteps of his father, Luis Calderon Vega, who spent his own life fighting against an authoritarian government in Mexico, and who, in 1939, co-founded the president's own political party, the PAN. At age 25, Calderon won his first local election and soon burst onto the national scene by winning a seat in the Chamber of Deputies, where he met his wife, Congresswoman Margarita Zavala. After a bid for the governorship in his home state of Michoacan, Calderon became the national president of the PAN party and was instrumental in helping Vicente Fox become the first real democratically elected Mexican president in modern times. In 2005, Calderon began his own bid for the presidency. He began far behind in the polls, but when the ballots were cast, he won the controversial election by less than 1% of the vote, and at age 44 became one of the youngest presidents in Mexican history. It was an honor his father unfortunately did not live to see.
Well, this is the official picture, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's my son.
What's his name?
Felipe.
Oh, I remember now, okay.
It was time to head out. We had another early start tomorrow.
Lovely to meet you. And Mom.
Perdón. Bye.
One more. Una más.
Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. President.
See you tomorrow.
You got it.
The next morning, the president was eager to show me around his hometown of Morelia, and his pride is understandable. The Spanish first established a settlement here in 1541, and the city still has a colonial European feel. In fact, Morelia has so jealously preserved its architecture that in 1991, UNESCO declared the city a World Heritage Site.
Look at the sky.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We met up under the bell towers of the cathedral.
These have built by the 17th, 18th century, and it takes more than 100 years to be built. They are beautiful. Oh, it's a beautiful sound. I remember that very well. It's very emotional because I know that I belong to this place. I belong to this city.
But there was one place the president really wanted to visit, and it was on the other side of town.
Peter, this is where I went to secondary school.
Mr. President.
Hello, how are you?
And the students there were in for quite a surprise. He seemed more like a visiting rock star than a visiting head of state.
It's a pleasure to meet me, and I'm doing so well for the country.
Ah.
Thank you. Gracias.
And when the president asked if they wanted a photo with him, well,
That was fun.
and with that, we made a hasty retreat, leaving these kids with a story they'll tell to their children about the day the president came to school.
Now we are headed northwest. Next, I'm taking you to the lagoons of the world-famous Baja California.
We hit the open water. Our destination, the lagoon at Ojo de Liebre. Every year, thousands of gray whales make an incredible journey to reach this spot.
It's the longest migration of mammals in the world. They come from Alaska and the North Pole to this place. It's probably 14,000 miles. They are swimming like 24 hours a day.
Each year, the whales make these lagoons their winter home, making it a spot for whale watching unlike any other in the world.
Ballena, ballena, ballena. Háblale, niños, ustedes.
Oh, there's one right over there. There's one right over there.
Wow! Did you see that?
Mira, 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 mira.
Whoa! These animals could be 50 feet long.
There he is.
Hola, ballenita. Could weigh probably 30 tons.
That's big.
That's big, yes.
Oh! Yeah, that was cool.
It was the most whales I had ever seen, but they still seemed to be keeping their distance. The president, however, had an idea.
There is a theory that the voice of children singing helps to attract the whales.
Well, as luck would have it, we just happened to have some children with us.
Canten, niños, canten, canten.
Una ballena se pronunciaba sobre la montaña.
And what do you know? It didn't take long. It was a magical moment, a communion between children and nature. The whales approached for a closer look, taking obvious care to be gentle near the boat.
Wow!
The water in these lagoons has an unusually high salt content, and that gives the whales buoyancy. It makes it easier for them to mate. The salinity also helps keep baby whales afloat while they learn to swim, and at the same time, it keeps sharks away. It all adds up to make these lagoons a whale's perfect winter destination. In peak season, as many as 1,500 adult whales return here to the waters of their birth and breed up to 800 babies, which means all these whales are actually Mexicans.
They come back every single year. They have no papers, but they can go north and come back every year.
Got it! I said it!
Why these whales bring their young to interact with humans is a mystery, even to scientists. Some say it's simple curiosity, but others see a more personal connection.
It's nothing scientific, but these are very emotional animals. The whales like the voice of the kids, the sound of the kids, or the spirit of the kids.
What about the voice of the president singing?
Well, I think that they don't care about the voice of the president. They're very rational. Hola, hola, hola. Oh. Hola, hola, hola.
See, I saw you touch the whale.
Oh, well, that's the Mexican hospitality. Adiós, ballenas.
Adiós, ballenas.
Adiós, nos vemos el año que entra.
We left the coast behind and headed back inland. At our next stop, the president told me we'd be doing some spelunking. But this cave was going to be unlike any other I'd ever explored.
Come on and see. Here it is.
Oh my God.
Pit caves like these dot the Mexican landscape, but the Sótano de las Golondrinas, or Cave of Swallows, is one of the deepest of all. It's nearly a quarter of a mile to the bottom and cavernous enough to hold New York's Chrysler Building.
So let me see if I get this straight. We're going all the way to the bottom?
Yeah. You ready?
No.
Listos? Peter, don't worry. This is all perfectly safe.
Somehow, that didn't make me feel any better.
Good luck, my friend. It has been a pleasure to meet you.
You are a sadist. My goodness. Mr. President, was this your idea?
But you wanted to know Mexico better. This is the deep Mexico, Peter. Got it?
Moments later, the president began his descent.
Well, look who it is.
Hi, Peter. Let's go, my friend. Viva Mexico.